Good evening. We're so glad you could join us this evening. My name is Cindy Saint, and I'll be the moderator for this evening's forum. The forum is sponsored by Arizona State University and the Citizens Clean Elections Commission. By way of information, ASU is a nonpartisan organization. That is, they don't support or oppose any political party or candidate. For this reason, the Clean Elections Commission has chosen ASU to conduct its candidate forums in Legislative District 27. The Clean Elections Act is a campaign finance reform measure that was passed by Arizona voters in 1998. Participation as a clean elections candidate is strictly voluntary. The system provides full public funding for qualified candidates who illustrate the support of their constituents by gathering $5 of qualifying contributions from registered voters in their legislative district. They must also adhere to contribution and spending limits and may not accept money from special interest groups, and they agree to participate in these forums. This election cycle, the Citizens Clean Elections Commission has also invited traditional campaigning candidates to participate. If you have any question cards, please just hold up your hand and our volunteers will come and pick them up and deliver them to me. We do screen the questions for clarity to eliminate duplications or speeches or personal attacks on the candidates. If you need another card, just hold up your hand throughout the forum and we'll deliver one to you. There is an independent timer who will see that all the candidates have equal time to answer each of the questions, and we'll tell them when their time is up. We ask that you remain polite to all the candidates and give them a fair and uninterrupted hearing, no matter how strong you may agree or disagree with what's being said. This means no applause, outbursts, or cheers, except when we introduce the candidates. This is especially important as post-captioning services will be made available after the debate for those individuals that are hard of hearing. As such, I will refer to each candidate by their full name prior to each question and ask that you speak directly into the microphone. At this point, we would ask that you please turn off or silence any of your mobile phones or electronic devices. The format this evening will be 3 minutes for opening statements each, 2 minutes each to answer audience questions, and 3 minutes each for closing statements. The candidates this evening running for House of Representatives are Myron Jackson, Sr., Republican, and Jose Tello, Republican. Is that good? Okay. The order in which the candidates will speak is determined alphabetically by the last name, and we'll progress from that starting point, and the closing statements will go in the reverse order. Myron Jackson, will you please start the opening remarks?
Glad to only be here tonight. My name is Reverend Myron Jackson. I am a resident native of Phoenix, Arizona. I have been involved in a number of campaigns. I was appointed to the State Board of Pardons and Parole in 1988 by then Governor Evan Mecham. I am here for my concern for District 27, and I want to see it progress and not degress.
Jose Tello.
Hello everyone, my name is Jose Tello, and I am a resident of LD27. My wife and I and our children decided to relocate to LD27, and as we found out what community we chose to relocate our family to, we found out that it's has an abundance of diversity, culture, and as I got involved with the political side of it, I found out as well that there's no representation to represent these people that have such great values and the traditions, and you know, I felt the need that I want to represent. I want to be the voice of these people. We need better parks, we need better schools, and I want to be the one to take that message and represent these people. I care for my community.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you for the opening remarks. We'll now start with the questions. Myron Jackson, the first question is, in the 2013 Arizona State Audit Report, Roosevelt School District was found to have the least amount of funds going to the classroom, only 42 cents per dollar. They were ranked far above peers in administration and management costs and lowest for grade and test scores. What role do you believe the state should have in improving this?
My belief is that the state, District 27, we should oversee and make sure that the majority of the money that is raised or given to the district is used to educate our children and not pay salaries for the board. We have a responsibility to the children. We have a responsibility. These children are coming up and they're graduating from 8th grade dumb. They're graduating with 5th grade reading levels, 5th grade, 4th grade math levels, because the district has not taken the responsibility of educating. They've taken the responsibility of putting money in their pockets and not taking care. My job is to go in and make sure that I do what has to be done to change it as a representative.
Okay. Jose Tello, the same question. Would you like me to repeat it?
Yes, please.
Okay. In the 2013 Arizona State Audit Report, Roosevelt School District was found to have the least amount of funds going to the classroom, only 42 cents per dollar. They were ranked far above peers in administration and management costs and lowest for grades and test scores. What role do you believe the state should have in improving this?
The state needs to work with all the committees, departments responsible for it. And we do need to focus, our main focus is to how the funds are dispersed. And if the funds are being withheld from getting to the classroom, this means that our children are not gonna have the opportunity that they would have if they would have these funds. So it's a personal responsibility as a community and as us representatives to work with the agencies responsible of dispersing the funds and making sure that the funds are used for the purpose they're supposed to be.
Thank you. The next question, and this time, Mr. Tello, you'll go first, and we'll go the opposite way. What will you do to encourage small business in South Phoenix?
We need to support our small business. I would definitely visit all our small business within our district and make sure that the regulations are not running them out of business. Make sure that what Phoenix has in place for the future is to benefit it and to embrace the future of the small business. The small business, I believe, is the backbone of our economy. They employ a lot of our neighbors, our residents. So I would work closely with any sort of assistance to make sure that our small business have all the tools and are successful.
Myron Jackson, same question, which is, what will you do to encourage small business in South Phoenix?
The first thing I would want to do is, you have the Black Chamber of Commerce. Find out what they're doing to enhance small business, the small mom and pop stores. See if there's a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. What are you doing to enhance small business in District 27? Go to the McDonald's, go to the KFCs, go to the different franchises and see what are you doing to enhance and to hire and to make sure that not only do you have a business here, but do you have anything in process where young people, college students, can learn how to be managers so they can run their own business, where they can get their own franchise? What are you doing so that people that are down and out can get lifted up? We too long have looked at the small business and said, okay, it's time to say it's not okay. It's time to lift up. Not give a hand out, but a hand up.
Thank you. The next question, we'll start with Myron Jackson, is what is your position on, it's actually two parts to this question. What is your position on abortion, and what would you support? Would you support laws that restrict abortion?
I'm against it, and I would not support it in any phase.
Okay. Jose Tejo, two-part question. What is your position on abortion, and would you support laws that restrict abortion?
I am against abortions, and I would support any law that prohibits and supports abortion. I believe that a life should not be taken. So I'm against it.
Okay, this question, the next question will start Jose Tejo. The question is, what is your position on gay marriage? Should it be legalized in Arizona?
I am pro family, and I believe that a marriage is between a man and a woman.
Myron Jackson, what is your position on gay marriage, and should it be legalized in Arizona?
No, it should not be legalized in Arizona. Marriage is between a man and a woman, and that's my position. No, I am totally against it.
Okay. The next question, Jose Tejo, you'd begin with this time. Do you support state funding of higher education, such as ASU, U of A, NAU, and why?
I support state funding for higher education. I believe that our children deserve the opportunity to pursue their dreams as far as they can. So I support any type of funding to encourage our children to seek higher education.
Myron Jackson, do you support state funding of higher education, such as ASU, U of A, NAU, and why?
I support funding on the basis that a student has at least a C average and that they are attending school and they're not going to school just to get state funding to put in their pocket and then quit.
Myron Jackson, we'll begin with you on this question. Do you believe the light rail will benefit our community business and our businesses?
The light rail is a touchy subject for a lot of people. We know there are Republicans that are for it, there are Democrats that are for it. My position is that during the construction of the light rail, especially in South Central, during the construction of it, what effect would it have on the small businesses? How would it benefit? Which, if I can't get in your business, I can't support your business. So in the end, what's going to happen is going to almost derail and stop a lot of the small businesses that we just got through saying we support. So I can't say that I agree it should have been done 100 years ago. It is not done. So I'm not going to tell you that I agree with it, because I really don't.
Okay. Jose Tejo, same question. Do you believe the light rail will benefit our community and our businesses?
I believe that it will benefit the community, but it's definitely going to affect drastically our business. Our small business and who offer jobs for our communities are going to be closed down. This project is going to be extremely costly, and it's going to take a year where businesses may not stay open. If they employ 5 people are going to be out of a job. So I believe it's going to do more damage than good. Maybe in the future it might be an option, but today we're trying to embrace a community that in my mind is being forgotten. And we need to, start rebuilding. We need to start building up our community. And the light rail today, I don't believe is going to be the project that should be brought to our community.
All right, next question, and we'll start with Jose Tejo on this. What do you believe should be done with unutilized and underutilized state resources?
Unutilized resources, we need to look closely at the functions of our state and explore all the opportunities and invest properly. All resources need to be utilized to the fullest and maximize the opportunities to offer to our taxpayers. We have a responsibility, and our responsibility is to make sure that we extend and stretch every opportunity and utilizing our resources to the fullest.
Myron Jackson, what do you believe should be done with unutilized or underutilized state resources?
I believe, as Mr. Tello said, but I go further than that. We have a welfare system that is draining state funds. We need to come up with a welfare program that is going to stop issuing checks, issuing food stamps, issuing rent supplement, paying for child daycare, and then look back and say, we're in the red. We need to develop something that's going to help these women get off welfare, stop giving handouts and start giving hands up. Use the resource systems that we have. Use the buildings, the programs that are already enacting. For young men, start the apprenticeship program back up so they can learn how to learn a trade and be taxpayers and not tax burdens.
Okay. The next question, we'll start with you, Myron Jackson. What would you do to reform the executive branch of state governments? Currently, there are 30 departments, boards, and commissions. Would you introduce legislation to reduce this number? If so, into what number?
To be honest with you, it would take me being in office, seeing exactly what needs to be eliminated, what needs to be enhanced. For any candidate running to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, is just blowing smoke. Because if we really don't know, we can't really say. So rather than make a definite answer, I would want to be in office, get all the information I can get, then make the decision, along with working with the governor and other legislators to come up with a plan.
Thank you. Jose Tejo, what would you do to reform the executive branch of state governments? Currently, there are 30 departments, boards, and commissions. Would you introduce legislation to reduce the number? If so, into what number?
I believe our government has grown and it's created positions that at times are created for a unuseful purpose. I would definitely visit all committees, agencies, and if there is an opportunity to eliminate, then I would eliminate a position if needed. We need less government. We need the people to be part of what's taking place and not increasing our government.
Okay. All right, Myron, we're going to start with you on this one. Myron Jackson, in your first 6 months of your new office, how will you help District 27?
I believe that one of the things that has been missing in District 27 is a hands-on approach, meeting with the people. I would like to have start with town hall meetings and asking the people in the community, what are your concerns? What do you want me to take back to the Capitol, to the Capitol and talk to my other legislators about, what do you want done in your community and how do you want me to represent you? One of the things that I have seen is that too many legislators, too many people that have gotten voted into office, they sit in the Capitol and they get a check, but the people don't know what they're doing. I want people to know. I want them to hold me accountable to them. I work for them. It ain't about me. It's not about Mr. Tello. It's not about Reginald Bolden. It's not about Ms. Rios. We didn't put ourselves here. It's the people in the district that put us here. And if they put us here, we're responsible and accountable to them for what we do while we're in this office. And if we don't include them in what we're doing, then we have failed them and we've failed the position that they voted and put us in.
Jose Tejo, same question. In your first 6 months of your new office, how will you help District 27?
In the first 6 months, I would, as Mr. Jackson said, I would work closely with the community. For I am working for the community, I'm representing the community, and it is my responsibility to work with the community and also challenge the community to make a change. And the change is gonna start from the representative getting involved with the community.
Right.
There's many opportunities in LD27, and we're not exploring, we're not harvesting these opportunities. And people want to be represented. So in my first 6 months, I am and will interview anybody and everybody I can and get them involved, because only we as a group will be able to make a difference and start building a solid future for our children.
Thank you. Jose Tejo, we'll start our 11th question with you. Do you believe that the state has the power of eminent domain to seize private land for private economic development?
I believe the state has the power, and therefore I believe the people have a personal responsibility to be involved. If we want the state to stop overstepping, then we need, as a community, be involved. And when we vote, we need to know who we're voting for. We need to start making intelligent decisions. We need to find out who's running and what's the purpose. And if they're in office prior times and continue on running, then what have they done? We do need the state, but we don't want the state to walk into our privacy, to take our homes, to take our lands, to take our properties.
Thank you. Myron Jackson, do you believe that the state has the power for eminent domain to seize private land for private economic development?
At this moment in time, they have the right, they have the power, but they should not have the right. And they should not have the right because you are destroying and damaging people's lives. What gives the state the right to take property that I have bought and paid for simply because you want to do something else with it? So I would have to fight with them. I would have to get on committee to want to change that. It would be an uphill battle, but it would determine how the governor and how the legislators in both houses work together to change that. And it would be hard, but they should not be able. No state should be able to go in and take somebody else's property that they've paid for. No state, no agency in this state should be able to go in. No judge should be able to say, the property is being taken from Mr. Smith and being given to the state, simply because the state has the power.
Thank you. Our next question, and Myron Jackson, we'll start with you. What special talents or skills do you have that qualify you to be an effective legislator?
I have been a Republican since 1986. I have worked with past governors, been appointed to State Board of Pardon and Parole by one of our governors, sat in committee with one of our governors, well, Governor Evan Meekum, who came up with the Evan Meekum Welfare Reform Act that he wanted to put in place before he was impeached. I've met and sat down with other governors, legislators, senators, just to see and to get an education about how things work. I've been a pastor for 25 years, minister since 1975, served on different commissions and boards in two different states. So I've been working with people, working with politicians, and seen things firsthand as to how things ought to be run, how we can make change. We can make change. It's if we want to make change.
Thank you. Jose Tejo, same question. What special talents or skills do you have that qualify you to be an effective legislator?
I've had the opportunity to work in the private sector and being part of many positions in my current job. Right now I hold a management position, which allows me to make decisions on a local level as well as multi-state level. And my decisions have to be productive. I have to meet quotas, I have to meet numbers. In the private sector, there's no second chance. I believe LD27 shouldn't have a second or third chance. I believe LD27 needs to be handled in a manner such as the results are going to show. People are going to see results. I have the skills and experience in the management level with the private sector, and I would apply my skills to bring up LD27, offer results to the people. I don't have promises on the table. I have opportunities for the people.
Thank you. Our next question, Jose Tejo, we'll start with you. What is your stand on Common Core education?
My stand on Common Core is we as parents have a responsibility to our kids, our children. We have a responsibility to be involved. We need to know where they are in their school, whatever grade they're in. If we don't know what our children and how good or bad they're doing in school, we're not going to understand what Common Core is. Common Core is going to stop my child from reaching his potential. My child is no longer going to have the opportunity to be challenged. So therefore, my child, it's not going to be interested. I believe that we need to allow our children to explore their abilities. I don't believe a standard platform works for the gifted child. It needs to be looked at differently. Common Core, I don't believe, is the answer for our education system.
Thank you. Myron Jackson, what is your stand on Common Core education?
My stand on Common Core is that it does not work. It did not work in Texas. It does not work in Arizona. In LD27, you have parents that are taking their children out of the Roosevelt School District, sending them to schools in Ahwatukee, sending them to schools in Tempe, because their children are gifted, and rather than allowing that child who's in the 6th grade but has an 8th grade or a 9th grade math score, rather than allow him to get into an accelerated program, he has a reading level that's almost high school level. Rather than allow him to move up to where he could be, they're holding him back because the rest of the students are here. So to keep that common standard, as they say, he's held back or she's held back. The end result is that child will get disgusted and end up maybe falling out, dropping out, don't want to go to school, and we wonder why in LD27, why kids at South Mountain High School, why children in other high schools, they're not productive anymore. They're disgusted with the school system because it's not working for the betterment of their education.
So sticking with the education questions, Myron Jackson, we'll start with you. What can be done to improve the quality of K-12 education?
What I believe, what I've seen, is that when you bring the private sector in, bring the church in, bring the school in, bring the parent in, make it a 3-part program where the children go to school. If their reading level is below standard, if their math level is below standard, if their science level is below standard, having a program set up, what I have seen, where the kids finished their regular school and went to a church that had computer labs set up, and volunteer teachers came in and taught them, helped their math levels to come up, helped their reading levels to come up, helped their science levels to come up. And when they went back to the school didn't understand, well, what's going on? What the teacher wasn't doing, somebody else was doing in the private sector off the school ground. And the kids were graduating with higher levels than they had seen, that they even expected, because they were getting education from somewhere else, getting tutoring.
Thank you, Jose Tejo. What can be done to improve the quality of K-12 education?
We have a lot of room to work with when it comes to education. We need to visit the school board. We need to visit any committee, any agency. But I'm going to challenge the parents. My focus would be the parents. I want to work with the parents. If the parents know what type of education their children are getting, they're going to get involved. My wife and I found ourselves in need of taking our children outside our district. We had to commute about 10 miles to and from our children's schools, when we could just easily let them ride the bus around the corner. So we have a lot of work. We have a lot of work. And we need definitely to get the community involved. We need to let them know that the ratings of our local schools are extremely low. And we need to know why the ratings are low. We're not competitive at all. So yes, we need, that would be a extreme focus so that these kids have a chance.
Thank you. Jose Tejo, we'll ask this question of you first. What was your opinion of Governor Brewer's decision last year to expand Medicaid in Arizona?
My decision and what I stand on Medicaid, And with Obamacare, right now we have an issue in our hands, and we have to face it. I believe that our seniors are not getting the best of it. They are the ones that are going to face a consequence that I believe they shouldn't. We need to revisit, and we need to offer something that's going to work, a plan that's going to work for our veterans, for our seniors, and even for our mentally challenged kids with special needs. We need to make sure we stand for those kids, for the elderly, and for our veterans. A plan that's going to work.
Thank you. Myron Jackson, what was your opinion of Governor Brewer's decision last year to expand Medicare in Arizona?
First of all, Obamacare was not set up to help seniors. It was not set up to help the mentally challenged. It was set up to help those who were not even citizens of America. It was they were getting the freebies, as you want to say it. My concern is that we had Medicaid here already. We had Medicare. If we were going to do anything, why not enhance what we had already with the county hospital? You know, we had people that was already going to the county and they were getting discount medical care. So my concern is that she did this. How can I say it? She did a bipartisan act with a Democratic senator who petitioned her, and she signed it.
Myron Jackson, we'll start with you on this question. What will be your top priority if elected?
My top priority, if elected for LD27, education, employment, community togetherness. I heard a person tell me the other day, LD stood for a lost district. Because those who've been in the office before lost their way in how to serve the district, so they were more concerned about serving themselves. It's time to find the district. I believe that my first obligation, again, is to go into the community and meet with the people, find out what I can do to serve them. I want to be a hands-on representative. I want to be someone that the people can come to. My first objective, my first act of business is to go back and say, what can I do to help you? What can I do to enhance and make the district better, make your lives better? That is the first thing I want to do.
Thank you. Jose Tejo, the same question. What will be your top priority if elected?
My top priority is, if elected, as Mr. Myron stated, we need to work with the community. We have a responsibility, and we need to build the trust. Community, the people lost the trust, and we need to rebuild it. We need to let them know that we are representing them. We have a responsibility, and it hasn't been shown. Our parks, our streets, programs for seniors, programs for kids after school. There's, as I said earlier, there's opportunities in every aspect. So my top priority is going to be to make sure people know that I'm there for them. I am ready to go to work. I am ready to offer change. And I am ready to challenge them to stay involved so that our community, so that LD27 will have a name and will have representation and will have the parks and all the amenities to be competitive with any other district.
Thank you. Jose Tejo, what role does the state have when it comes to immigration and protection of the border?
I believe the role that the state plays is extremely important. I believe that Arizona has proven that they want change. We need security. We need something done. Arizona is a known state to try to make a difference. Our federal government, for whatever reason, has not taken on that responsibility. Therefore, Arizona, it's tried. SB 1070, Mr. Arpaio, every citizen of this state, I can say and tell that it's ready for an answer, for a change, for the federal government to do what they're supposed to do. Arizona has proven that they want something done because people are involved and they have voted for plans, for programs to put in place.
Okay, Myron Jackson, what role does the state have when it comes to immigration and protection of the border?
The first role it has is to protect the citizens of Arizona at all costs. If we can't depend on the federal government to do its job, then it's up to the governor and the legislators of this state to do whatever it takes to protect the citizens, protect the farmers close to the border. How dare someone cross our border and kill a farmer in his own yard? How dare people come across the border as mules bringing drugs, and we know they're doing that, and do nothing? We have a responsibility to ourselves. If Obama won't do it, then we're going to do it ourselves. We will do it. At whatever cost it takes, we have to do it. Because if we don't do it, then what happens is we suffer the consequences for not doing what we know we ought to do to protect ourselves.
Myron Jackson, we'll start with you on this question. Earlier this year, Governor Brewer abolished the Child Protective Services and replaced it with a new agency called Child Safety and Family Services. What would you do to protect children in Arizona?
I would ask the governor, the new governor, to appoint a special coalition of private citizens who are familiar with child care services to work with that department, because they're overloaded with cases, to help them oversee those cases, those children, and then in the event that something is found not like it ought to be, well, if you found guilty, go to jail. If you're doing something you ought not be doing and you got children in your hands, go to jail. Go to prison. You getting a check every month to take care of these children, and you're not doing your job, take the check, send them to jail, and find somebody else to do it.
Okay. Jose Tejo, earlier this year, Governor Brewer abolished Child Protective Services and replaced it with a new agency called Child Safety and Family Services. What would you do to protect children in Arizona?
I would embrace the system, and I would make sure that it works and performs the way it's supposed to. Whenever we put a plan or law in place, it seems to get forgotten. And there was too many children that were forgotten, too many cases. We need to be more involved. We need to hold all these departments accountable for their jobs, for their responsibilities. If a program is in place and is funded, then 100% of the fund needs to be used for that purpose. And it needs to have the personnel to support and manage that program. The children are our future. And if a parent made a mistake, that child is not a mistake. And we're not gonna forget about the child. We need to be there, and we need to rescue these kids that need our help.
Okay. Jose Tejo, the next question is, as a legislator, what would your first priority be in working toward a balanced budget?
My first priority towards the budget, again, would be to work with any agency and all agencies, Secretary of State, Treasurer, find out what our budget is, where our budget needs to be, cut any overspending, maximize investments, projects, and hire companies that are gonna provide a service without any other purpose. So in order to be successful and fund every program in our state, the budget needs to be balanced. We need to make sure that there's no funds missing, that there's no funds being misused for business or personal use.
Okay, Myron Jackson, as a legislator, what would your first priority be in working towards a balanced budget?
Ask the governor to call us into a special session, and that all the cards be laid on the table as far as what each agency, where every dollar's going to, so that we can come up with a balanced budget for the state, find out where waste is, and wherever money is being wasted that does not have to be, cut it off. There are some agencies, some agencies that are getting over abundance of money, and they're not doing their job. If it's not gonna do the job, why are we spending money? If it's not productive for the state, if it's not productive for the citizens of the state, why are we issuing out the money? So if it's not gonna be productive, I believe that I can't do it by myself, but the governor can call us into session, and we can be accountable. If every legislator, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent, whoever, are called into session, and hey, this is what we gotta do, then let's do it. Get Arizona on the right track.
Okay. Myron, we'll start with you on this question. Name someone from the opposing party that you like and respect.
My God. Someone from the opposing party that I like and respect. You asked $1 million question, and I think I got about 10-cent answer. I'm gonna say this, and I don't want anyone to get upset. And it's only because I've known him for many, many years. He's not the best liked senator. He's not the most progressive senator. He's gotten old in age and he's senile but John McCain, I like him. I worked on one of his campaigns when he first started running, and was you talking about state or federal?
Opposing party.
Opposing party?
Name
Well-
someone from your opposing party, from the opposing party that you like and respect.
Okay. I can't say what if I don't like them, and and I can't answer your question.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like them.
All right. Jose Teo, same question. Can you name someone from the opposing party you like and respect?
I'm gonna say Ms. Rios.
All right.
I don't know it, so I can't say I like them.
All right. We will start with Jose Teo in this question. What is your position of Prop 303?
My position on 303 is I believe in the choice of people, and having to read this proposition over and over, somebody that's has a term illness, I believe they have the choice to choose if they want to try something different under the supervision of their physician, doctor. It might just extend their life. It might give them hope. Without having that choice, then their life it could be termed sooner. So I'm gonna stand and vote for Proposition 303.
Okay, Myron Jackson, what is your position of Proposition 303?
Yes. I say yes because if I am terminally ill and I'm going to die anyway, and the doctor tells my family, tells me that there's a drug out there that could possibly give me a longer time to live. The government don't have nothing to do with that. They get out of my health. Obama, this ain't got nothing to do with Obamacare. This ain't got nothing. This is between me and the doctor and the pharmaceutical company. They done made the drug. It might work. Give it to me. So I'm wholeheartedly for it.
Okay. Myron Jackson, Arizona's unemployment rate has remained around 7% this year and has been slow to recover from the Great Recession. What do you propose to improve how do you propose to improve the job climate in our state?
What I would propose, again, I keep going back to the legislature. I keep talking about going back to the governor. As an individual, as one legislator, I cannot change it. But we as a body there are 90 people in there, we as 90 legislators and a governor working together, we can turn the employment situation around in Arizona. We can put people to work if they want to work. The saddest thing is that some people would rather sit at home and get a welfare check and get some free food stamps and have Arizona pay their rent rather than work. But I believe if we come up with programs that are factual, that are realistic, we can improve the situation in Arizona.
Jose Teo, Arizona's unemployment rate has remained around 7% this year and has been slow to recover from the Great Recession. How do you propose to improve the job climate in our state?
I stand on this issue. And I'm gonna work with the private sector. I'm gonna work with small business in our community. We need to embrace this business. We need to work with the financial institutions to fund and help these entrepreneurs. The only way we can help our unemployment is by getting the community motivated, getting the businesses, giving them the support system they need. I would also work on attracting companies to open up in our district. You know, bring opportunities, bring jobs. Not the minimum wage job, but also jobs that offer more than the minimum wage, you know, benefits, something that our community can look up to. So unemployment needs to be fixed from the private sector and not from the government. So I would work with the private sector, with the small business.
Okay, we're now going to move on to our closing statements. Jose Tello, we'll begin with you. Please, you'll have 3 minutes for your closing statement. Go ahead and start.
First, I want to thank every one of you and for giving me the opportunity. I find myself as a member of LD27, given the opportunity to run and represent. It is my responsibility, and I believe that we can make a change. I am not going to do it by myself. I am going to seek for every member of our community. It is our individual responsibility. We have to take our community back, our city back, and our state back, and we can move on to our country. But it's going to take LD27. We are responsible for the future of our children. We are responsible for the appearance of our parks, our schools, our streets, the opportunities for our business, future business. We're responsible for our seniors. We have a tremendous job in our hands, and I believe we can do it. I believe we have the resources. I've met a lot of great people in this journey. Great people, hardworking people. If we join forces, we will make a difference. LD27 is going to be different 2 years from now. We're going to stand up and say, hard work paid off. This is what we've done. We have a wide range of opportunities from small business, parents, families. Families are working 2 jobs to hold a household. We need to focus on those families staying together, spending time with their children instead of working 16 hours a day. So I'm going to challenge everybody in LD27. Let's come together and make a difference. I will work for you. I will represent you only if you work with me. We can do this together. I don't want your vote and then we forget about each other. I want your vote, and I want you to stand by me and with me, and we will make a difference.
Thank you. Myron Jackson, your closing statement, please.
Can I stand up? I'm Baptist preachers. We talk better when we stand. I agree with Mr. Tello, but I say again, I'm just one. But in order for things to change Arizona, change LD26, to change all the 20, I'm talking about, I'm not gonna forget 27, but there are other districts, 29. In order for us to change, I can't focus just on 27. we have to bring legislators together and focus on my district, his district, her district, his district. Because in doing that, when the legislators of this state come together to improve the entire state, then whoever, when Gabby's representing us in DC, then she has a greater support from us here because we're supporting ourselves here, then we can expect for her to do what needs to be done to help us here in Arizona. So all I'm saying to us today is that no, my opposing, let me say this. When you go out and you get endorsements from special interest groups, and you plaster them all over your cars you passing out, whether it's the firemen's union, the policemen's union, Roosevelt District School Union, and you got all these different unions and you got all these different entities that are endorsing you, then I got to ask you a question, Mr. Opponent. Where do the people of LD27 come in? Because if you get elected, your special interest groups get the first piece of the pie. They get their slice first. And whatever's left after that, which is usually nothing, then we get. So I ask a question to you. Are your special interest groups more important than the people, as Mr. Tello said, more important than the families, the children, the senior citizens in LD27? Are they more important than us? Only he can answer that question.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. We thank you both for participating in the forum, and we thank all of you in the audience for taking the time to come and inform yourself before voting. And we encourage you to find out more about clean elections and the candidates running for office by going to www.azcleanelections.gov. A video of this forum, as well as other clean elections forums, will be posted on the site within 72 hours of the scheduled forum. And we also encourage you to complete the surveys that you picked up when you came in at the registration table. And thank you all for coming out tonight, and have a great evening.